Okay, we had some big news out of CD Projekt Red today. Cyberpunk 2077 is being delayed once again. It had been delayed from April all the way to September 17th, and even that large delay, people were still unsure if a game that, by the way, looks super ambitious, right? Some of the things they've described to us with this ever-changing open world does seem almost like it's going to be difficult to pull off in the first place. But people were unsure if it would still come out in September, and a lot of that was cited to remote work and the pandemic and COVID and the current world situation, this game getting out there. But, I mean, CD Projekt Red was pretty adamant in several interviews going forward, the CEO talking about how, oh no, everything is good, we're going to make that September release day. Not anymore, though. It has been delayed about 2 months to November 19th. Now, this could have been inadvertent, but it kind of works to their favor in the sense that now CD Projekt Red's big game, Cyberpunk 2077, will essentially be a launch title for the PlayStation 5 and the next Xbox, the Xbox Series X. We don't necessarily know the exact release dates for those two systems, but I think it's safe to say that November 19th is going to be right around the release date of one or even both of those systems. So this is a strange thing because November 19th is a Thursday, and they typically release their games on Tuesdays. So let's say November 19th rolls around and the Xbox had launched a few days prior, the Friday before, and then on the 20th, the following day, we'll have the PlayStation 5 come out. Kind of makes the decision on which system to buy it on a bit easier, since you'll probably just be buying the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X version anyway when you pick up your system, as opposed to having to decide between, oh, do I get it on the PlayStation 4 or do I get it on the Xbox One and hope that everything carries over? Fortunately, CD Projekt Red did kind of at least explain the situation on Microsoft's side, with the Xbox having just straight up the smart delivery enabled. We weren't 100% sure on cross-buy yet for the PlayStation, but it might not matter anymore since it'll be out with the PS5. Now, that could also mean that there might be some added incentive with this delay to maybe work on the next-gen patch that they had described previously, where the game would be there at launch for the systems, but they might not necessarily take advantage of that hardware immediately. Maybe because of this delay, they'll have a bit more time, and since the game is basically going to be a launch title next to Spider-Man, Halo Infinite, and I'm going to say Ratchet and Clank. That sounds about right. Maybe they'll say, hey, it's worth it for us since we're going to launch alongside these systems, and early adopters will certainly be looking for this big, awesome new game to check out their new hardware with. Might be worth to make sure that patch is there and ready to go. Maybe it'll just have a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X version that you just buy straight up in the store even. Like, you won't even buy the PS4 version and then pop it in and get a patch. You'll just buy the PS5 version. So it kind of works out for them in that sense, because they won't have people maybe holding off, unsure of which one to get, or maybe people who are just like, I don't really have a PS4 or an Xbox yet, and I was going to get these systems, or a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, and I'll wait then. They will be there ready to go with the big hype factor of that launch. Now, I'd like to quickly go over the statement that they did put out today on Twitter. You can see that here. It says that they have decided to move the launch of Cyberpunk 2077, September 17th, to November 19th. They go on to apologize in the first paragraph, explaining that the decision was not an easy one, but that they would like to make sure that the game is complete and essentially not riddled with bugs. Basically saying, at the time we were writing these words, Cyberpunk 2077 is finished, both content and gameplay wise. The quests, the cutscenes, the skills and items, all the adventures Night City has to offer, it's all there. But with such an abundance of content and complex systems interweaving with each other, we need to properly go through everything, balance game mechanics, and fix a lot of bugs. A huge world means a huge number of things to iron out, and we will spend the additional time doing exactly that. Now, there is a little bit more to this statement that has some good news for people who are looking for just more Cyberpunk information, but I want to go back here for a second. I am willing to give CD Projekt Red the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this, because they have done things differently than other publishers and developers in the past that favor the consumer more so. For example, most recent example at this point is The Witcher 3, of course, on the Switch, comes out, and it was all on the cartridge. We are so used to, if you buy Switch games, you're used to having these third parties. We just saw 2K do it with like 3 releases in one day. You see NBA come out every year that has this. Sometimes you'll see a game come out and it's just a code in the box like Wolfenstein Youngblood, right? But CD Projekt Red shows up and they said, nope, we're going to use a 32 gigabyte cartridge. It's all going to be on the cartridge and you don't have to download a part of the game just to play it. So I do believe them when I see them say, oh, we want to make sure that the game feels complete, that it's not riddled with bugs, because they do have this sense of quality and, hey, we'll put a game out. Oh, don't worry, we'll fix it with 10 patches as we go along, like something with Fallout 76. Now, the very end of this statement says, this week, journalists from all over the world are starting to independently play the game. We are eager and quite stressed to hear their opinions as well as see your reactions when they publish their previews right after we air Night City Wire on the 25th of June. We hope this will satisfy some of your hunger for the game as we work to polish it for the November launch. So yes, we will have more gameplay, more information about this game next week on the 25th. I mean, that's exciting. We'll see some impressions, some previews, and maybe get a pretty cool tour of the city as we watch them unveil more parts of it. And yes, we do have to wait an extra few months, but again, looking at how ambitious this game appears to be, again, we need to see more of it, but looking at how ambitious it seems to be, looking at CD Projekt Red's track record, I get it. I think it will be one of those generational games. Now, if you are a PC gamer, you might be a little annoyed because you're not waiting for the next system to come out. You're just waiting for it to show up on GOG or Steam or wherever, right? You're basically just hanging out waiting. But if you are someone who is looking to be an early adopter for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, you might be thinking, oh, cool, this makes sense for a launch title and I will be picking it up then. And hopefully that means that there was some incentive to have the PS5 and Xbox Series X version that would take advantage of things like the SSD, the added CPU and GPU power. We'll see. But yes, CD Projekt Red had to delay Cyberpunk 2077 about 2 months, and it's now a launch title seemingly for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below. Are you willing to give CD Projekt Red the benefit of the doubt that they really do need this extra time to make sure it's polished and not hit us with like 50 gigabytes of patches after the game comes out? I do think that when the game is here, we will probably look back on those delays as being worth it, because this does seem to be the big send-off for the Xbox One, the PS4, all of that. You know what? It's going to be interesting because this is supposed to run on the VCR. And that's gonna be fun to see how that works out. I mean, if you really think about it, I guess they have to create it for the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, the PS4, the PS4 Pro, the PS5, the Xbox Series X, possibly the Series S, and a PC that you've probably custom built. There's a lot of stuff to do there, right? A lot of moving parts with a game that already seems to be pushing the boundaries. Also, a big thanks to everyone who has subscribed so far to Spawnwave Plus. We've just recently crossed over 50,000 subscribers here, so I do appreciate everyone who has hit that red subscribe button down below. I'm having a lot of fun making different opinion pieces on games, different smaller news pieces, and rumors as well. It is a lot of fun. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below. Make sure you guys like the video on the way out if you enjoyed it, dislike it if not, and I'll see you next time.